And another week of Bears Talk Live is here. Eric Bach here from the Blowing Rock Draft House in beautiful Hickory, North Carolina. The show is presented by J. Brown Realtors, here with head football coach Mike Jacobs. But before we get to him, what a great week for the Bears. I mean, football win, swimming win, men's and women's soccer 2-0 week, volleyball a 2-0 week. So it really, since the last show, has been a fantastic week to be a Lenoir-Rhyne Bear. And a big part of that is head coach Mike Jacobs and the Bear football team. Coach, huge win over Tusculum, huge bounce-back win, close, highly contested 38-31 win. And, you know, it took everything you guys had to take down Tusculum at the end. We talked last week about the difference between winning and losing close games and making the critical plays in the game. And you guys made enough of them to win against Tusculum. That's got to be a good feeling to kind of get over that hump.
It's fantastic. You know, I think as we've talked, we've been in the two losses that we've had have been in contested games where, you know, 5, 6, 7, 8 plays go a different way, or we make the break on those plays, then we maybe have a chance to win the game or should have won the game. And, you know, Saturday was no different. You're talking about a Tusculum team, regardless of record, they're very similar to us. Their losses have all been by 1 touchdown or less. They were coming off a week where they lost on the last play of Wingate. And the last time we had played them, we played for a spring championship on our field, which they had won. So our kids knew what was on the line. They were prepared. I thought, you know, we had spoke a bunch about keeping our composure and really cutting back and eliminating the penalties and that hidden yardage. And I thought that was a critical piece of our victory this weekend or past weekend. And again, we had a bunch of young guys, old guys that played well, and we made plays when we had to and got the win.
You mentioned composure. You know, in games like that, it's so important to keep your composure. I was watching you during the game from the press box, and you were very even-keeled. I mean, that was the epitome of a roller coaster game. There were turnovers, there were big plays both ways. Right. So how important for you as the leader of the team, and I think the team showed composure at the end in you know, getting a score on offense with, a minute and a half to go, and then really digging your heels in on defense and stopping them when they were going to try to tie the game. But composure-wise, is for you as the leader of the team, how important is that to just kind of keep yourself even throughout the game to kind of set that example?
It's imperative. If you know, we're leaders of young men and women, and so we need to, you know, lead by example first and foremost. And you know, the old lineman in me by nature doesn't always stay even-keeled and composed. And but at the end of the day, we need to try to model that behavior. And I think you make much clearer decisions when you are level-headed and you eliminate the distraction and you don't do it off of emotion. And it allows you to think clearer and process things. And again, more than anything, just model it for the kids and what we're looking to see from them.
So often games are decided by turnovers, and you guys created enough of them both on defense and special teams to get the win. So creating turnovers, you always talk about it. We always talk about it on this show, and that was really, I think, one of the biggest keys to the win against Tusculum.
It was huge. They, you know, in the fourth quarter alone, they had the fumble in the red zone, which we ended up getting a field goal out of. And then the muff punt late in the game. And Malachi Sumner was right where he needed to be. He was able to fall on it, scoop it, and give us possession, which ultimately led to the go-ahead score. And again, some of that is the breaks tend to go your way when you are composed and you are doing things the right way, and you've played clean for the most part throughout the course of the game. And so, again, just super, super proud of our kids and the way they competed. And I thought a lot of guys grew up last Saturday.
We saw Dwayne McGee just have another phenomenal game, 180-plus yards, with Derek Young out like he was against Tusculum and the passing game somewhat limited. You guys really leaned on the run, and Dewey came through again. Yeah,
Dwayne has been as consistent as any player that we've had since we've been here. You know, he's a special runner. He's got a little more to him than just his height and his weight, you know, because he's not the biggest guy, but he runs hard. He made a couple critical plays. You know, a couple things were blocked really well, and then there's a handful. The one, I think, 43-yard touchdown run. He makes a heck of a cut, and he cuts back and gets into the clear, and you know that's on him. And you know, certainly a big performance by him, and controlled the clock. And I think he had just under 190 yards rushing last Saturday.
And others stepped up as well. I mean, you saw Jordan Payne make a really nice catch. Dante Young has been great the last 2 weeks, set career highs the last 2 weeks in tackles. He's a transfer guy. And obviously Amari Houston, sacked Defensive Player of the Week, 11 tackles. So the defense, it was bend but don't break, but they made the plays when they had to, especially late in the game when Tusculum was trying to drive down and tie the game.
Absolutely. And again, Dante's a guy who's playing a little bit of an extended role. Although he's transferred in, this is his third year in the program, so he's really been at LR for quite some time, and thought he played really well. Easily his best football game since I've been associated with the program. And Amari Houston's a guy that, you're talking about a team captain, you're talking about guys keeping your composure, you're talking about playing hard and having accountability. And there's times where he's making plays 10, 20 yards downfield, and that's all effort. He's a nose tackle, and so if we can get all 22 guys to play with that effort all the time, we're going to have a really good chance, but super happy for him.
Looking ahead to this week is rivalry week. I mean, Carson Newman is one of the biggest games on the schedule every single year. They're I guess you can say they're down this year. They haven't yet to win, but, these rivalry games kind of like throw the records out type deal, right? And
Certainly.
You guys going on the road up there. It's the first time that LR and Carson Newman have met since 2019, so this is your first taste of this rivalry as the head coach of LR. So what are you expecting on Saturday from the Eagles, and what kind of game do you hope to play?
I expect that, I've been a part of a big rivalry, that whole Ohio State-Michigan thing.
Yeah.
So I certainly am in tune to what it means that records really don't matter when it comes to this. I think Carson Newman's a team that's looking for an identity a little bit offensively, but they have tremendous skill players. They play hard on defense. Last week they had 3 special teams touchdowns, so they're extremely dangerous in the special teams game. And, they're going to play really well against us, and our kids need to know that. And we've talked about it all week. We've talked about what it means to play in these big games, regardless of record, and on the road. Again, as we're a young team learning how to win consistently, we have to be able to go on the road and work things out.
2 of those 3 special teams touchdowns belong to DeQuan Dudley. 2 100-yard kickoff returns in the same game. I mean, it's pretty good to have 2 in a season, but to have 2 in the same game. So obviously special teams is always a focus for you guys, but especially this week to track down a returner as talented as he is.
He's been fantastic, and I believe he's a transfer for them from Texas A&M Commerce, but he's provided a spark in several of their games for them as they've worked through some stuff on offense that, he's a tremendous player. He's fast. He catches it clean. He makes good decisions back there. He was fantastic for them last week. And
one thing, kind of going back to the previous games, you guys have been really good on is third downs. I mean, converting 50% on offense, holding teams to 30% on defense. Third down, especially on the road in close games, rivalry games, you look at those critical plays, and third downs are a big part of that.
Yeah, third downs, red zone. You talk about situational football is a buzzword that's thrown out a lot, but those are usually the make or break moments. And although our numbers have been really good, again, at the most critical times, we got to find ways to make plays, and our players got to make them, and we got to put them in good position. But super proud of the way that our guys have done that. I think offensively, Anthony Soto's done a great job with the offensive staff and having a consistent plan, and our kids have done a good job on our situational day in practice, and same deal on defense. Jamal Brown and our defensive staff, really making it a point to emphasize those critical situations.
Home crowd brought it on Saturday. I mean, it's impossible to not feed off that energy if you're playing in front of the Moretz Stadium crowd. But now you guys are going up to Carson Newman on the road. So how do you bring that energy to a road game, especially in a rivalry game?
Yeah, we talk about it. Any player that's on the bus and on the field but not in the game, right, they got to be dialed in. They need to be energetic. I know our fans are going to travel well like LR always does, and they're going to be loud and proud. And, they got to understand that this is a special game because it's this Saturday, and it's Carson Newman, and it's on the road. So we'll be fired up. They'll be dialed in, and hopefully that positive energy from the sideline, we're able to feed off it on the field in a hostile environment.
Mike Jacobs and the Bears head up to Carson Newman this Saturday, 1 p.m. kick, trying to win their 4th straight in this rivalry game. Coach, good luck. Thanks for your time.
Thanks, Eric. Appreciate it.
Coming back next on Bears Talk Live with Steph Figueiredo.
What does unlimited mean to you? At Carolina West Wireless, it means unlimited media, unlimited fun, and unlimited access to our nationwide high-speed network. Sign up today for an unlimited data plan and pay just $35 per month per line for 4 lines. And we'll include hotspot and big-time savings on a new smartphone. Take $350 off the revolutionary new Samsung Galaxy S20 and get more out of your unlimited. Expect more, get more. Only from Carolina West Wireless.
Jay Brown Realtors here on a beautiful Thursday afternoon from the Blowing Rock Draft House in Hickory. Eric Bach, happy to be joined by senior women's soccer midfielder Stephanie Figueiredo. Steph, thanks for being here. 2 big wins in a row for you guys, including last night, 5-0 on the road against Mars Hill. After the Catawba loss, you guys have outscored opponents 6-0, so it's got to feel good to really get back on track. And you guys are still right there, just still alone in second place in the SAC right now.
Yeah, we're just, after the loss to Catawba, we just wanted to focus on what was ahead. We couldn't change what happened, and we just wanted to move on and just do whatever damage we could do to the next teams ahead of us.
And the big one was Queens last Saturday. They were right up there at the top of the standings. That was just a hard-fought, physical game, and you guys were able to come out on top. So for you personally, you got hurt in 2019, and last year was kind of your comeback year. You were the LR Comeback Athlete of the Year last year in the spring after you missed 2019, but it probably feels good for you now to be even further removed from that injury and just kind of play with nothing held back in your senior season.
Yeah, it's nice to not have to think about the injury anymore. Just strap on my brace and just do what I got to do. I really don't think about it, and it doesn't hold me back at all, and I'm just glad to have another season.
And the team this year is a good mix of experience and youth. I mean, you've got you and Nev and others that have been around for 4 or 5 years, and then your 2 leading scorers are freshmen. It's Evan O'Leary and Leone Proessa, who both had 2 goals each last night. They both have 7 goals, which is tied for the team lead with each other. So how has that been? I mean, it's new. You know, they're new and they're doing so well. But how good has it been to see these young players kind of step in and take this big role?
I can speak for myself and for some of the super seniors as well, that we're just so excited that they stepped into that role flawlessly. Eventually I'll be an alumni of this program, and it just makes me really excited for all the great things that they have in their next 3 years.
So what role have you taken in their development? I know that there's a lot of on-field stuff that I'm sure you've helped them with, but off the field, to just kind of teach them about how this program works. What has been your role in helping them along so quickly?
I would say just making sure that they understand the culture of our team right away, and just stay away from the silly stuff off the field and just keep them in the right direction with school and with their social lives. Just make sure that they stay focused and that they don't get carried away.
So you've been with your head coach, he's sitting right there, Gary Higgins, for a long time now, and you two have been through a lot together, both on and off the field. So tell me about your relationship with him. I'm sure he was kind of a factor in you maybe coming back for this last year, right?
Yeah, our relationship has been up and down. Now it's a love-love relationship, no more love-hate relationship. But I think Gary and I had grown together. I came in freshman year and just wasn't totally bought in, but Gary obviously saw something in me and changed me as a player and just allowed me to grow and develop and to just never stop. And I think he saw more in me than I saw in myself.
I would say that a good majority of LR's athletes that are from the United States are from this region of the country, North Carolina, South Carolina, Georgia. You're from Massachusetts, Wilmington, Massachusetts. So how did you even hear of LR? What brought you to LR even in the first place from the Northeast?
I went to a tournament in Florida, and Gary had just happened to be walking by my team playing, and he sent an email to me, and my mom and I looked at it, and we were like, not North Carolina, not going there. I was only looking at schools up north in Massachusetts, and after Gary had said, well, we have nursing, like we've got this, we've got that, my mom and I were like, what the heck, let's just go. And I came down, I loved it. People held the door open for me, and nobody does that up north. So it was nice, and something just told me that this was my place. This is where I was supposed to be.
The Southern hospitality sold her. So something I feel like we haven't talked about a lot, at least with some of the players, is you guys went down to Florida early in the year to play Florida Tech. They were a top 5 team in the country. You drew with them, but maybe even more important on that trip was the bonding aspect of it. You guys got to fly down there, spend an extra day, go to the beach and stuff. So how important was that trip for this team's chemistry?
Extremely important. We returned the majority of our team from the spring,
right.
And having that COVID season, we didn't get to have a lot of time outside of soccer and off the field. So it was just really great to just be able to like have fun and just laugh and have nothing to do with soccer for once, and just like actually get to know people. Like we were able to hang out in the hotels just like together, and it was just like great to like get to know my freshmen, even some of my sophomores who I didn't get to know that much because we didn't have a outside setting.
So important to have those off-the-field relationships. But going back to on the field, you guys have only given up 6 goals the whole year, a couple of shutouts in a row. You know, it's a defensive-minded team, I think, but how much pride do you guys take in that? I mean, it would be pretty impressive. I mean, we're kind of winding down in SAC regular season play to keep the other teams in single-digit goals for the entire year. I mean, that's got to be a point of pride for you guys.
Yeah, it is. And after every game, when we do get scored on, like we learn from our mistakes, and like we ensure that those mistakes don't happen again, and whatever it takes to prevent that. Specifically like Catawba, like we honed in on those 2 goals and like what we needed to do to prevent those from happening again. And I can say against Queens, it was a total like difference between a few of us that we just like, were more aware of what was going on and checking our shoulder and little things like that. And we're just able to prevent goals from happening.
You've been around a lot of different players. A lot of different players have come through here since you've been here. What is different about this team this year than some of the previous teams that you've played on?
I think even though we have returned so many, there is a lot of young players that are stepping up, and I think the environment that we've created for those young players to be comfortable coming up. And at one game we had 5 freshmen starting. I don't think that's happened since I've been here. And it's just great that they feel comfortable and that they have the opportunities to step up and to show us what they got.
We talked about the freshmen. Now I want to talk about the seniors. I mean, you've been around with Nev, Maddie, Kyle, some of those for a long time. What is your relationship with that group like?
So Mac and I came in together.
Mac too, yeah.
Mac and I came in together, and Maddie as well, because she was a transfer that year. So for the past 5 years, our relationships have like completely developed. Maddie and I have gotten a lot closer too. And then Grayson, when she just stepped in, it was great. We hang out together outside and just try to do little dorky things together. But it's great to just like be in the same situation with other people as well, not just being a older person on a team of a bunch of younger people. But it's nice to have like really great humans around me.
Last question. What is your ultimate goal for this year? Doesn't even have to be on the field. This is kind of your last hurrah here at LR. What do you hope to get out of it?
So it might not be my last year.
Okay.
Actually.
All right.
Still undecided.
Breaking news.
Breaking news. But we kind of set goals as a team at the beginning of the year, and what we said was they're set now, but we're not going to focus on them. What we're focusing on now is winning the moment, and just the moments are the half that we're in, the game that we're in. Is if we win those small moments, we will achieve our bigger goals that we're not concerned with at the moment. Obviously, there's bigger tournaments and things ahead, but we have to beat the Queens, like we have to beat Tusculum, we have to beat all these teams, Wingate, in order to get there. But you need to beat what's in front of you.
Good wisdom from a player that's been around. The Bears head to Tusculum on Sunday. Kind of a weird, rare Sunday game, but Bears will head up to Greenville, Tennessee to play Tusculum on Sunday. Steph, thanks so much for your time. Coming up next on Bears Talk Live with Bears Club Director Aaron Bessey.
Paramount Kia in Hickory. We want to see you driving a new Kia or, hey, a quality pre-owned Kia. We've got a huge selection of new and pre-owned Kias. You got to get to Paramount Kia in Hickory, Highway 70, ParamountKia.com.
final segment on today's Bears Talk Live, presented by J. Brown Realtors. Eric Bach, happy to be joined by the former host of this very show, Mr. Aaron Bessey, Senior Associate AD and Director of the Bears Club at LR. Aaron, first of all, thanks for letting me do this.
Hey, it was time for me to pass the torch. You're doing an awesome job.
Appreciate it.
Mm-hmm.
Let's talk about the Bears Club. You're in charge of the Bears Club, the fundraising arm of the department. So for everyone out there that may not know, can you tell us kind of the nuts and bolts of the Bears Club and where the money goes and how it's spent and what kind of fundraising is going on right now in the Bears Club?
Yes, definitely. I appreciate you asking. Yeah. That's a very good question. So the Bears Club is, most people probably know, but for those that might not, it's our fundraising arm for Lenoir-Rhyne athletics, and it's very important to us not only on a general athletics basis, but on a sport-by-sport basis as well. It's the lifeblood of what we do and what helps makes us successful. So there's the General Scholarship Fund, which is giving to the General Bears Club, and that gets you season tickets, passes to the pavilion, parking pass, all that fun stuff. And then you can also give directly to women's soccer or football, and that also gets you cool benefits along with the individual programs giving, cool gear, all kinds of stuff like that. So there's multiple ways to get involved, but it definitely is the lifeblood of what we do. And if you can't give a lot financially, every bit counts, and we also need volunteers and just people to be engaged and be around. And anybody that might be interested in getting more involved with the Bears Club, obviously reach out to myself or anyone on our staff to find out more information.
One thing you mentioned, the pavilion. Coming from a Big Ten school where the tailgating scene is just massive, mm-hmm. I'd heard great things about the LR tailgating scene and the Bears Club pavilion, but I got to say, when you see it in person, it's like, wow, this is legit. Yep. It's a true, legitimate, fantastic game day atmosphere that the Bears Club has at Moret Stadium on a football Saturday.
Yeah, we're blessed because we've almost outgrown it already. Yeah. We had never had anything like that at LR before, but to your point, going to an ACC school and then working at some Sun Belt schools before getting here, you don't expect to see what we have on the Division II level, but it is treated like a Division I game day. It's the pavilion, for those of you that might not have been there before, is an awesome facility. We've got 8 TVs in there. It's indoor, outdoor. We got free food every Saturday for those that are in the Bears Club, free drinks, beer, wine, soda, water, anything you guys want. It's a great place to congregate and have some good fellowship with the Bears. Coach Jacobs comes by an hour before the game and talks about whoever we're playing that day, and Bears Walk comes right through the Bears Club Pavilion area, so it's really a special place to be on game day, right next to that Gold Lot parking area where all our Bears Club members just go out and tailgate. And even the tailgate, although it's not as many lots as probably what you're used to at Michigan State, is the lots we do have, that stadium lot and that Bears Club Gold Lot, are pretty packed and pretty awesome and vibrant on game day.
Certainly quality over quantity, that's for sure. But you've been at LR for 5 years now. How have you seen the Bears Club and athletics in general here grow and change over your 5 years?
Yeah, that's a good question. So yeah, it's I can't believe I've been here that long already, but getting old. But yeah, the transition and transformation from when I got here, and Kim got here around the same time, and Dr. Wood as well, to now is it's pretty awesome. It's pretty great. I think right now with our staff, coaches, assistant coaches, GAs, administrative staff, it's the best group of people that I've ever been around in my time here, or really anywhere else. I don't think we don't have a hole. We don't have a weak spot in our department, which is really special. We've got just a great group of people working for Lenoir-Rhyne, coaches, staff, everybody. And that's what makes us successful. That allows us to recruit amazing student athletes like Steph and everybody else, that we have at Lenoir-Rhyne. It's what makes it a special place. So I think that's been the biggest thing for us, is getting the right people in place, and obviously Dr. Wood allowing us to hire some new positions and, pay our coaches well and do all those kind of things has allowed us to take that step. But the Bears Club, to that point, in terms of growth, whether it's with the golf tournament, the auction, the raffle, just general membership funds, sport giving, all of those have taken leaps and bounds over the last few years, and a big testament to that is our council, our Bears Club Council, some of the team builders we have for sports, and alumni and community members that are watching right now and are here with us. That's the reason we're so successful. Is Lenoir-Rhyne, it might be a small school, but it's got a huge following and a very loyal fan base that not only gives with their support, but gives financially too, and we're really blessed to have seen that kind of grow twofold in the last 5 years.
Now that we're kind of back into normal, whatever that is, there's in-person events that the Bears Club run, and next week is homecoming week, and that's the biggest week of the year for the Bears Club. So we got golf, we got auction. So Tell the people about what's going on in homecoming week. It's probably the busiest week of your entire year.
Yeah, it's stressful for sure. If anyone's around and wants to bring coffees for myself or Leah or Danny or anybody else, anybody next week at LR will greatly appreciate it. But it's a lot of fun for us. I mean, to have the amount of people we have coming back, people take homecoming seriously here. Our golf tournament, the Hanley Painter Bear Memorial, is sold out completely, AM and PM. That's never happened before. We've really never even gotten super close to selling out 32 foursomes in the morning and afternoon. So that's going to be a whole lot of fun. Saying a lot of prayers that the weather cooperates that day. That's what the big thing's going to be. But right now it looks good. High of 70 and overcast, perfect golfing weather.
Right.
Excited about that. And then that night we've got the auction social event, which formerly has been the gala upstairs in Moretz Mills or down the road at Moretz Mills. But that's going to be in Schufer Gym this year. Really excited. We've made some improvements to that facility, so we're excited for everyone to see it. It's going to be a nice, casual, fun event. A lot of people are coming off the golf course, so we don't want to make anyone feel like they need to dress up and be, stuffy or anything like that. We're going to have a live auction. We're going to have an open bar. We're going to have food from Texas Roadhouse. It's $40 for, regular, and then $20 for young alumni, anyone who's graduated 2000 or more recently than that. So we're excited about that. We got plenty of room. If you guys want to RSVP, reach out to myself or Martha Reich by calling or emailing us, and we'll get you on that list. But then on Saturday, we got Hall of Fame. We got the parade. We got the tailgating. We got the pavilion. And we got a football game where we're going to hopefully take it to Limestone. I have no doubt we will. So it's going to be a good weekend.
One of the events from the COVID year that really has stuck was the online auction. And
yes.
That's live right now. That's something that you've carried over into this more normal 2021 year.
Yeah, so the in-person stuff next weekend is going to be a blast. But right now, Eric, that's a great point. We've got our online portion of the auction going on. We've got, if you count all the buy it now stuff, about 250 items that you can either buy or bid on. That link for a desktop computer, which is the easiest way to view all the items and register, is lrbears.com/auction, lrbears.com/auction. And if you're on your phone, it's simply lrbears.com/auction mobile. So please, 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 I think we've kind of been beating people over the head with this over the last few days, and we'll continue to for the next week. But if you haven't already, go check out those items. Don't be shy. Every bid that you guys put in goes 100% towards student-athlete scholarships. So even if you're not planning on winning something, drive those bids up for other people. Have some fun with it. We've got some awesome furniture that hasn't been bid on yet, some cool memorabilia, some Kyle Duggar stuff, vacations, you name it. And then the live auction part will have some stuff that's not listed on the silent auction that people can only bid on if they come in person next Friday night. So, again, lrbears.com/auction live now and through next Friday. Go on there and bid on some stuff.
Stuff is good. I mean, there's a trip to Cabo in there. There's President's Cup tickets that are – President's Cup is coming to Quail Hollow in Charlotte. That was the one I had my eye on.
I haven't seen you bid on anything yet.
I know. Martha Reich had the high bid on the President's Cup one. So I was thinking about it, but I know me and Gary Higgins might have to go to the President's Cup only if I can get an LR soccer polo. But
I got one. You didn't get – oh, man, that's tough.
I know. So – Aaron Bessey, director of the Bears Club. Anything else that we need to hit on before we let you go on homecoming week?
Perfect questions. Yeah. I mean, you're better at this than I am, so we're good.
Well, the bar was very high, so I appreciate it.
Big shoes to fill.
Aaron Bessey, director of the Bears Club. Join us in homecoming week and bid on the online auction stuff. Aaron, thanks so much for your time. That's it for Bears Talk Live this week. We'll hopefully be talking to you next week after a lot of wins. I'm Eric Bach. We'll talk to you next week.
Go Bears.